we broke up, I was literally going through so much. Why will I go into a relationship without having high expectations? Heavily avoid stingy guys. A lot of guys want to drop your standard. Come to my house. Is there a party at your house? I would not stoop so low to be in a situationship with anybody. Your instincts are always right. I was in a very serious relationship with somebody. Let the toxic person go. People go into relationships and don't know where their partner is sexually. Don't ever beg any man. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your baby girl Yejide Adebola, aka Queen Ye. In today's video, you guys already know what's by the title. Today I'm going to be telling you guys 5 lessons I've learned since I have been dating. I'm going to give you guys so many juicy gists in between these lessons that I've learned. I'll share some of my experiences as well. I'm sure some of you can relate to some, and I don't know, let's just see. Without too much long talk, let's just get right into the video. So now the very first thing I learned from dating so far is to always put myself first and to not be afraid of being alone. This is something that I feel like a lot of girls battle with. When you keep on thinking that you're nothing without a guy, you would keep on feeling incomplete, and then you keep jumping into different relationships that do not make sense, and by that you also stress out yourself mentally. You have a lot of mental breakdowns, which is very unnecessary. Putting yourself first and knowing that without anyone you're still whole, like you're still that girl, is very important. When you find peace and happiness within yourself, then it's very hard for you to feel less or incomplete without a guy. The very first stage to having a healthy relationship with your partner is first having a healthy relationship with yourself, having a very good, calming and less toxic relationship with yourself. When you're happy being alone, it's very easy for you to spread that love and happiness to somebody else, thereby having a very healthy and good relationship. So most times, most people are just scared of being alone and they just end up being a toxic partner to their boyfriends or to their girlfriends. Another thing I've learned dating so far is that you're open to disappointment. This one is a very hard pill that I had to swallow. Why? Because most times I have high expectations. Like, why will I go into a relationship without having high expectations in the first place? Do you understand? Sometimes I always rate people so high and at the end of the day they just disappoint. A lot of people also, like, when you meet people instantly, they're already thinking about how they're going to make babies together, or they're going to be together forever and all those kind of things, probably get married and stuff. I feel like first stage of dating should not have those thoughts in your mind, because most times girls, they find it hard to like get over a guy or move on from somebody or let a toxic person go because of how much picture of the future you've drawn towards the person. Like you've really pictured a life together and it's now like a do or die affair, like if the thing doesn't work out. So like most times I'm just like, nah. At the beginning I don't try to picture all those things. It was something I used to do before, but like growing up and maturing and seeing how things really are, it's not a mistake I actually want to make again. Another thing that I've learned dating: heavily avoid stingy guys. What I'm trying to say is actually stingy guys. Even dealing with a friend, a female friend that is stingy, is very, very annoying. Like, it's very, very frustrating, because I hate being around people that are stingy, because I'm not a stingy person. And most times these kind of people actually change your character in some kind of way. Let me just use myself as an example. I always don't want to do too much. I don't want to give too much more than I receive. So like most times I'm just like, Yejide, just calm down. And then like you just actually start seeing those traits of stinginess, and it's a very disgusting feeling to be with somebody who is stingy. There are some people that you guys are just talking for the first time, and next thing they will tell you is, come to my house. Remember, I'm like, is there a party at your house? What exactly is going on at your place? And I'm like, nah, that's a very big and major red flag. Once you tell me that, I will not rate you again, and I'll know you're an unserious person. In the past, I might have just felt like nothing bad, but when you meet somebody and the person is proposing, oh, let me come over, or would you come over, all those kind of things are so irritating. Like, why can't you just act like a normal, reasonable person? Take the girl out on a date and have conversations with the person. At least try to build a very natural relationship before trying to dive into the sexual part, because I don't see any reason why you're inviting the girl to your house when you're just meeting her if you don't have ulterior motive. Another thing I've learned dating so far is to set my standards and always maintain it no matter what. A lot of guys you would meet would want to drop your standards. You might have already said it that, okay, this is the kind of person I want to be with, this is blah 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 blah, and just meet somebody that just changes your whole perception, changes your whole mind, and then you just find yourself settling for less. This is a situation that I've been in the past, and I've really outgrown it right now. I have learned so much from this. There is no point forcing yourself, lowering your standards to with anybody. Apart from that too, communication is also very important in relationships, which is something that most people lack. Most times you don't want to hurt your partner's feelings and then you do not communicate. At the beginning, when you guys are even at that talking stage, that talking phase, you need to really communicate with the person. You need to know the kind of person that you're going into the relationship with. You need to be sure of the person's personality, what the person can tolerate and what the person cannot tolerate. I've been a victim of this one plenty times, because most times I'm the kind of person that once I meet somebody, once we vibe that day or maybe the next day or something, I already know if I want to be in a relationship with the person. I'm that fast to judge. I don't even take time. I'll just know, like, okay, is this person boyfriend worthy? Does this person have the qualities I want? And boom, I'm just pursuing it. I feel like I always used to believe that I've had proper amount of communication with the person, like I've had a very good communication to some extent, but this is not always true most times, because you might think you've known somebody in just few days or few weeks of talking to the person, and the time in the relationship you find out that there are a lot of things that you do not know, important things, which is the reason why communication is key. I've been with somebody that we didn't have proper communication and we just started dating, we just entered into the relationship, and it was a very, very toxic one. I didn't really know him that much. I felt like I knew him, like we had a very long conversation at the beginning, and with time, like most times all my relationships I never even waste time. If I like the person, I'm going for it. But like so far I've learned that I really need to calm down, take my time, go on a few dates with the person, actually know if this is kind of person that you want to be with, know how they act in public, know how they talk to people that are below them, you know, that are not on their level, know how they eat in public, know how they drink in public. You cannot even really judge this by just a first date, like just one date or something. Your talking stage should just not be about mouth talking. You guys should actually have small exploration, like you guys should explore a little. Also, sexual communication is also very, very important and underrated in relationships, because most times people go into relationships and don't know where their partner is sexually. You just go into relationship and then you're finding out the babe is a virgin, or you're finding out that the guy doesn't just like having sex, and you're the kind of person that you love doing that. Those are things that make you happy when you're in a relationship, or that spice up your own life. So if you don't have those conversations at talking stage, when you get into the relationship, you find out that you guys are actually not on the same page as you thought, and that starts to affect your relationship. Do you understand? Another thing I've learned dating so far is being with an unsupportive partner. This is the most frustrating and sad position you can ever be in, really. I've been with somebody who, I don't know whether to use the word unsupportive, but let's just say we're just not on the same page socially and we didn't have the same goals. It's okay for you not to have the exact same goals with somebody that you're in a relationship with, but it's very important for the person to support you regardless, while you also support his own dreams. Do you understand? But like, this was just a matter of I don't have interest in this thing you're talking about, or I don't really have interest in your goals or whatever, so it's hard to support the person. I felt that vibe from him, right? And this is another reason why communication is key at first instance, because all those things I didn't know at talking stage, I just jumped into it. So later on, I'm just finding a lot of red flags down the relationship, and by that time you're already in love. Like you're already in love and you're just giving excuses basically. When you're with an unsupportive partner, it just throws you back, just makes you feel somehow, like it makes you feel very bad. How would you be very close to somebody you talk to 24/7 with, and the person doesn't care about your goals? That's huge. Just try to communicate very much before you go into any relationship, to be sure how the person connects with your goals, how the person reacts to the kind of gist you give him, like things you tell him concerning, let's say, your business or whatever. Let's just say your business, how you react to it is so important. Another thing I've learned so far dating is do not beg anybody to be in your life. Do not force it. Once you see that it's not working, then let it go. Don't ever beg any man. Don't ever force yourself on anybody, because it's not worth it. There are so many guys out there. There's so many people out there that will treat you how you actually deserve to be treated. If you settle for less and do all that to a guy, he will not rate you. And that's actually the fact. Sometimes I have this conversation with my guy friends. They're always all about, it's not like that, it's not like that. But the reality of things is that when you have conversations concerning their relationships, what I've learned, because I actually have quite a number of guy friends, if you keep keep on doing those kind of things with a guy, making him feel like he has so much control over you, he would keep on manipulating you and making you feel bad, and he would actually not rate you. So you're the one that has to carry yourself high. You have to have high self-esteem so that nobody looks down on you. Do not let any guy think that he has so much control over you. Let me just tell you guys one short story. I was in a very serious relationship with somebody some time ago, and we broke up, and it was a very crazy feeling because we were in that relationship for like more than a year, and I was really like, it was a very serious one, let me say. And after the whole breakup, I felt like I would never ever love any man anymore, never ever be in a relationship anymore. But guess what? I've dated after that. Life has moved on. It's just a phase. There are things that you look back and be grateful for because of the experiences that you learned from it, because of how much you've grown from those kind of things that happened to you in the past. I kind of diverted, right? So yeah, for the whole time when we dated, after we broke up, I was literally going through so much, a lot. And guess what? The guy never heard from me. I can think about you the whole year and you will not hear from me. I easily feel disrespected. So I start feeling that way. I'll just get over you. Maybe not get over you as fast, but just not hear from me. My self-esteem is more important than anything. I feel like most girls should actually have this kind of mindset so that they don't keep hurting themselves. Another thing that I've learned is your instincts are always right. 90% of the time, what you're thinking is actually right. If you have any doubts in mind concerning your partner, it's always best you communicate to the person. Never to ignore the red flags. Most times, a lot of people ignore initial red flags, and at the end of the day, that's what keeps on hindering progress in the relationship. There are a lot of things that happen. There are a lot of marriages that have issues, and when they look back, those problems were little signs that are evident while they were still talking. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. Most times, let's say your husband, let's say he lies. Let's say he's a very big liar. You can't tell me that during your talking stage, he did not used to give you some kind of lambast, like some kind of big lies that make you doubt, like, why is this guy lying? At that point, it might not be that serious, but then later on in the relationship or later on while dating, those are major things that are actually causing problems. So do not ignore the initial red flags, because that will most likely be the cause of the end of the relationship. This is the last one. This is the most important, which is situationships. This is another thing I've strongly abstained from, because nothing good actually ever comes out from situationships. 99% of the time, nothing good comes out from situationships. I have learned so much to deal with being alone, to be happy without any guy, without any man, that I would not stoop so low anymore to be in a situationship with anybody. Like, I would never do that anymore. I don't know, everybody has their own opinion, but my own opinion, I wouldn't be in a relationship with anybody. For me, it is stooping low, and those are mistakes I've made in the past and I've moved on from. So I'm basically and solely talking about my own experience, lessons I've learned, and my advice for those who care. It's not an advisable thing to go into a situationship with somebody. I mean, why would you want to be in a situationship or be in that kind of position with somebody that is like you're dating but then you're not dating, which actually restrains you from having reasonable conversations because you don't want it to look like you're doing too much? Like, that's a very unreasonable situation to be with anybody, to be honest, except maybe you actually don't like the person at all and you just have your own benefits that you're getting from it and you really don't care mentally or like emotionally. For me, as for me, it's not something I'll be in, because I'm a very even as much as I always come out as one hard girl, I'm a very emotional person. Things get to me a lot, so I don't even want to put myself in a situation where I constantly want to understand my position in your life. God forbid. That will never happen. So like, that's why I'm just like, situationships is like a no for me. That's something I've learned, that it's either I'm friends with you or I'm in a relationship with you. I would rather stay single and be alone than be in a very confused sexual relationship with anybody, because I mean, most situationships are obviously sexually oriented. Another thing that I've learned so far dating is that the only one that gives people or guys the power on how to treat you. If you take rubbish, you see rubbish. And if you don't take nonsense, you will not see nonsense. Just like this whole situationship stuff now, I wouldn't put myself in a position where that's what's going to be happening with me and any guy. Those things I feel come with disrespect, it comes with insults. So like, you're literally just going to give him the power to treat you however he wants to treat you because of the kind of decisions you've made with him. Basically, that's how I feel. Another very important thing that you need to know, or perhaps something I've learned, is to never feel like I would never meet somebody like that anymore. Sometimes you meet useless people, and at that point you feel like they're just the best. They're probably like the best people you've ever dated, and then you just start feeling like, oh my god, if this one goes, I may never meet anybody again. That's not true. You definitely meet people who will treat you right. So do not settle for less. That's the end of this video. You didn't agree with some of the things I said. That's totally fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and I just gave mine, and I spoke based on, you know, the lessons I've learned so far and things that I would never do. So it's okay. I'm open to discussions in the comment section below. Tell me your experiences as well. Tell me things that you feel you've learned. I really love to know your opinion as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys want more videos like this, I can do a part 2 and do more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.